Hi everyone, I'm Chris, and I'm doing a challenge against myself, I guess. We're trying to do some tarot spreads to write a story for Gay Pride Month. I'm using the Gay Pride, I'm sorry, not Gay Pride, but the Gay Tarot deck by Bursten and Antonella Platano. It's a deck that I'm not exactly sure like how comfortable I'm using just because I haven't used it all that often and it doesn't really speak to me, even though I'm a gay man myself. It's got some interesting images, but I'm just seeing what kind of comes up. I'd like to show you how you can use tarot cards to unblock your writer's block if you have some. I found some spreads on a website called karmastartarot.com. She did a bunch of tarot spreads in conjunction with a challenge for writers in November called NaNoWriMo, and each day she posted a new spread and to kind of get the wheels flowing for someone who doesn't know what's happening or doesn't know what is going on in their head for what to write kind of thing. And so today we're going to be dealing with the sidekick. Last time we made a mentor, and the mentor, our main character Sage, is having a hard time coming out. He's got some family that is obviously his family is not having a very good time or not very comfortable or supportive. I mean, they know that he's hiding something, but they don't know about the gay thing. He's got two friends, one that's like an older gentleman that has lived and is kind of wants to just die alone, not die alone, but like he's comfortable with where he's at. He's made peace, did all of his fighting in his younger days. And he's got another friend who's full of justice and is a proactive person who is kind of taking advantage of him. We also have two coworkers who are working in conjunction to help Sage kind of live life, I guess you could say, because the magician just keeps giving Sage opportunities, and the guy that has a house and a family is kind of jealous of how young he is and just thinks that he has his whole life ahead of him, kind of a thing. And obviously the mentor that we met last time is butting heads with Sage a lot, and Sage is just not letting himself grow up. Not that you should. I feel like everyone should be a child for as long as possible, but maybe he hasn't come to terms with his own life. I don't know. We've got so many more spreads to go through, and we'll go through it that way. Before I get started, if you do happen to like what I'm doing here, keep following and subscribing and all that kind of stuff. I'll be posting more of the videos throughout the month, and I'll also be because you can't see the spreads, I'll put them on my Instagram and on my website on the blog part. Also, just so that you can see what I'm doing. Also, I'm not copywriting any of this. So if something in your head clicks and you want to just go off and write, go off and write. This is not a story that I am writing myself. But if you get inspired, have at it. So, with that being said, we'll be developing Sage's sidekick. So I've left out all these cards again. I should actually leave out Temperance, I guess, just to see. Let's leave out Temperance so that we don't have Temperance, because that was our Temperance reversed was our mentor. So let's just leave that out for a signifier for later, just to have. You don't have to do it that way, because there are people that do have similar characteristics. For this purpose, I'm trying something new. That's simply is what I'm trying to see what happens. Because the last time I did this, I left all the cards in, and it was kind of interesting as well. But that's a whole different thing as well. So let's make a sidekick. I'm doing this live so that you can get the most authentic tarot reading possible. To kind of see how my mind works when I'm creating a story with tarot and characters, and figuring how my wheels are turning and how you can use tarot to get your wheels turning as well. So I've shuffled a couple of times. This is a 15 card spread. Ooh, this is a big one. Okay, So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm going to put these last 6 over here. Okay. So we've got 15 cards. And we're going to flip them over. Interesting. Reading a lot of these cards, there's going to be a theme, I guess. We've got a lot of cards that are doubling up, that keep coming up in this story. And so there must be this is how you might be able to find a theme for your story. But that we'll touch on that later. And I don't even know if I will touch on that, but okay. So cards 1, 2, and 3. Card 1 is meeting the main character. So obviously the sage, who is a quiet, reserved person, kind of scared to come out of the closet, went to one of these justice guys' events, and he met a sidekick there that he connects with. I don't know if the sidekick is a boyfriend, because obviously it's another person in the gay community. It could be a lesbian. It could be a trans person. But this is a sidekick. So I'm not sure. Maybe it's a straight person. Maybe it's an ally. I don't know. But so obviously they met in public with a lot of people. Feeling of the main character. Right there to self-hatred again. So Sage does not hide that he has self-hatred toward himself being gay. He is not hiding that one bit. He may think he's hiding it, but he's not hiding it one bit. The relationship with the main character. It's moving. It was right side up. So something's moving really fast. Maybe this is a fast relationship. Maybe this is the sidekick that broke his heart when we did the character. When I did the character spread, like in video 2 or 3. This might be the ex-boyfriend. But let's see what comes up the rest of the way. Because I think it was the Guy of Swords from before, but it was reversed. So I think that was the history. So maybe this is the sidekick. So 4, 5, and 6 is the backstory. So the star is number 4. 5 is the Man of Cups. And 6 is the 7 of Wands. So I'm getting this. If I'm looking at this, I think that the backstory, when I think of the star, I think of like a lot of people think that the sun is very like a very shine, like I think of the star as like the movie star, like very self-centered, very outgoing. The sun, I feel like, is more childish, more brightness, more carefree, if that makes sense. So obviously there's a star here that's reversed. So I don't think that both of these people thought that they weren't thinking of themselves when they met each other, or they weren't thinking of themselves like as like all that in a bag of chips or something like that. They weren't being cocky when they met each other. It was a very sincere meeting. With the Man of Cups, this is okay. They fell in love. This is a boyfriend, because the Man of Cups is very similar to the Knight of Cups, and knights are the ones that make things move, and cups are about relationships and feelings and emotions. And so the Man of Cups, obviously this is a fire that a passionate thing that needed to be put out. I don't know. Are they let's see what the next card is. Well, obviously something went wrong, because we've got the 7 of Wands, and it's rainy, it's windy, so it's like a honeymoon phase thing. So obviously I think that maybe Sage fell for him really, really hard, and maybe this was Sage's first love. Even though it's not the lover, but the sidekick could always be the lover. I don't know. But it seems like the sidekick and him, the sidekick and Sage have had an emotional bond. How long that emotional bond is, that might be up to the story. But let's see what happens. Okay, so we've got goal number 7 is the goal. The goal was not to leave each other. Got the 8 of Cups reversed. The goal was not to leave each other. They didn't want to leave. 8, how the goal contributes to the plot. This is the 9 of Swords reversed. And usually if the 9 of Swords was right up, it'd be like they weren't sleeping correctly. They were having nightmares and stuff, but this was reversed. So maybe they were sleeping fine. They were fine. Maybe they were. Maybe they were fine. There was no nightmares. They were happy. They didn't want to leave each other. How the goal contributes to the plot, that's the one that we just did. So obviously they didn't want to leave each other. Maybe Sage was just about to come out. And that's where our story starts. I don't know. But then we've got the character flaw, which kind of makes sense that we've got the 9 of Swords, the Guide of Swords here. Because at first we had the Guide of Swords reversed. So obviously Sage got hurt by this guy. The character flaw, he's got a thought process that doesn't sync up with Sage very well. I'm not sure what that is, but it's very cut and dry. Like the sword, it's very hurtful with his words. He said something wrong. He's going to say something wrong. He thinks something differently. Their communication gets severed somehow. Someone tries to butt in. I don't know, something like that. A simple miscommunication breaks them up. I don't know. Let's see what happens. Let's go for the rest of this. Number 10 is the best characteristic of him. We got the 4 of Swords. So his mind never rests. He's always thinking. He's always thinking of Sage, always thinking for him, always thinking of him, totally in love with him, kind of a thing. Why the main character needs them. We got the 5 of Cups reversed. And again, 5s are all about conflict. So I think that Sage being with this sidekick or around this sidekick or this lover has made him feel more whole, has made him feel less conflict in his life. Whether that's the honeymoon phase, whether that's an actual relationship, I mean, that's all up in the writing, and maybe we'll find out more in these more cards. But I think that this relationship helped Sage feel more stable than he's felt in a very long time, especially being a gay man who's not out. The sidekick's demise. We got the 3 of Pentacles reversed. And again, 3 of Pentacles is more about studying. It's more about working together as a team. So maybe there's something that they don't work together as a team on. Their demise is they go off in different directions. Maybe not necessarily like a breakup. Maybe this is like a Ross and Rachel thing. Like they were on a break. Like maybe they think that they broke. One of them thinks that they broke up, but one of them thinks that they're just on a break. And maybe the demise is just the relationship, not the demise of the sidekick. So I don't want to put that out there because I don't want to go into the kill your gays tropes kind of situation. But I don't know. So I'm going to get, I think this is the demise, like some kind of, he left him or Sage left him, or maybe he decides to leave Sage because Sage is becoming too clingy. But but they weren't working together as a team anymore. Something like that. So then we got 14, 15, and 16. Oh, 13, 14, and 15. There is no 16 card. It's just a misprint. It's the beginning, middle, and end of the character arc. So the beginning, things are happening. Life is happening. Yeah, I think that everything seems to work and fall into place, almost like a clock. Like whenever you see the clock gears, they just kind of mesh together like a puzzle piece. The middle, we got the Six of Cups reversed, and we do have some of them in bed. Maybe, or these guys are in bed, it's celebrating something. Maybe someone was moving too fast. Maybe they moved too fast. Maybe they shouldn't have slept first together. Maybe they shouldn't have met on Grindr or done sex before friends or something like that. And the end of the character is the Seven of Pentacles. And this was not reversed. Sevens are a little bit about conflict as well, not as much as the 5, because the 5, you were in conflict, you worked through one, got to the 6, and the 6, and then the 7 is like the next conflict or like the next hump to get over, but it's not as big as the 5 because it's not right in the middle, but it's like the last hump that you need to get through in order to get to your 10. Or 9 is close as well, for depending upon where you're at. But 7 of Pentacles, I'm trying to think of what the actual tarot card is versus the gay tarot, but let's not reference the Rider-Waite deck. This is the 7 of Pentacles, and this is the end of the character. We have a gardener. We have unfinished business. It looks kind of like he's tired. He's like sad, like they're both in the middle of a job of doing this gardening, and one of them, they got in a fight and just left. And now he's like maybe stuck doing the rest. Maybe Sage is stuck fixing it by himself, or a breakup. He looks kind of like he's smiling on the card. I don't know if you can see that. But that could be something to think about in the future when we do other spreads. Now, I do have some notes here. It says pull 2 cards for 9 and 10 if inclined. For 10, if pulling 2 cards, 1 card will be the best characteristic to help the main character. The other card is the sidekick, is for the sidekick character. So you can do a little bit more clarifier cards if you want. You can have a signifier if you know who this person is. We didn't pull a signifier for this person. But I think we're going to use the Guide of Swords because this card came up in a previous spread as well, only it was reversed. So maybe we're going to use the Guide of Swords reversed for this character and just do it that way. The last thing I have here is an added bonus for the theme of the character. Add all the numbers of the add numbers for cards 13 and 14. So 13 and 14. So I have 13 and 14 is there. We have a 10 and a 6. So 16. Oh, you know what? I know what it is. Okay. So 16 is Temperance. It's the one after the Devil. I think it's Temperance. Let's see. So for the theme of this, you've got 16 is Revelation, not Temperance. It's so 16, you can go Revelation, which kind of makes sense for the theme. He's trying to reveal himself. Sage is trying to come out of the closet. But also, if you want to do one more, you can actually take It's the number 6 and the number 7, and or the number 6 and the number 1, add them together, and you get 7. So the other version of this is the chariot, which kind of, I feel like in this version means that the theme of this relationship could be taking control of your life, revealing things to people who you love, revealing things who you are, making sure that you have control of your life and being able to drive your car or your chariot forward without stopping. And that's kind of two of the themes we can kind of take here, because usually society kind of stops us from growing. And so we kind of have to force ourselves to grow and learn. And society just pounds on us that we are so wrong. So it's one of those things where we need to learn how to take control. As gay people of the LGBTQ community, I feel like we need to take that step to take control of our lives, and make sure that we are living the life that we want to live, versus falling into conformity with everyone else. That was kind of a tangent, but yeah, that's kind of what I'm getting at here. So again, I'll take pictures of the spread. I'll put it on my Instagram and on the blog portion of my website, so you can follow along and kind of see what the cards look like all together. That is video 7, I believe. Yeah, video 7. And then I will do video 8 next, and that's our sidekick. And since we've got our sidekick signifier. So until next time, happy Gay Pride.